Okay, I've made a few videos about using my Cricut to cut the applique fabric for when I make like applique patches and things like that. I do it sometimes like if it's on a garment, but a lot of times I do it when I'm making a patch, and I'm making some more patches today, so I figured I'd show you my actual whole process of doing it on the computer, to the Cricut, and then to my machine. So let me show you. Okay, so I open whatever my logo is in my digitizing software, and then I go over and I delete everything except for the run stitch. I just leave the run stitch on there. And then I look at the second to last before the run stitch to see kind of how it covers it, and you can see this one goes to the outside edge, so I don't think I'll have to add an offset. Sometimes if it were to go to like this inside edge, then I would probably add an offset to this once I get to to Cricut Design Space. But since it goes to the outside edge of this one, I think I won't need an offset. Okay, so I delete that. And then all I have left is this run placement stitch. And what I'm gonna do is File, Save As, and then I'm gonna go down to the SVG and save it as an SVG. Then I'll go into Cricut. Let me cancel this so I can show you. Upload image, and I'm gonna upload the one that I just saved. And there it is. And then I click make it, and then I'm gonna change the quantity to whatever I need it to. And there we go. Go ahead and turn my machine on so that this will connect, and I'll show you the rest of how I do it on my machine side of things. But I cut it on the denim setting. There's a denim setting, and it uses the rotary blade, and that's the setting that I cut it on. It cuts it all the way through. That's the setting I found that works the best for me for cutting through like the applique fabric. So I look at how much material I need, like how much space it takes up, and it looks like I'm going to need 211. So let it fit. I could also trim it this way. I think I'm just gonna leave it because I don't feel like it. And then I'm gonna tape this down so that it holds. I just use packing tape and just do the edge a tiny bit and fold it over. That way it's secure on there and it doesn't move around. Now that I have this on here, I'm gonna load this in. I have it set on the denim setting on my computer to cut with. It's in the list of fabrics you can choose from. And then I have the rotary blade in here, and we're gonna get started. The next thing I do is cut my stabilizer. I use this Badge Master. It's technically a wash away stabilizer, but it's thicker. It's pretty thick. And then I normally use a tearaway stabilizer that I really like, but I'm out of it. So I'm going to have to get creative because I really want to make these today. So I think I'm going to do 2 layers of this Badge Master, but normally I do 1 layer of tearaway and 1 layer of this Badge Master. So for these, I use my 8x13 Mighty Hoop. This just is a good size for me. I can fit a bunch of patches in here. So, of the Badge Master, I'm gonna kind of pull it tight as I do this. And then snap it on. I couldn't imagine having to hoop this with a regular hoop. Also, by the way, if you are thinking about getting any kind of Hoop Masters or Mighty Hoops, I highly recommend them. You can use the link in my bio for free shipping on your order. This is not super typical, but what I think, I have these little pieces of tearaway, not my favorite tearaway. I like my other one a lot better, but I want this also to have a little bit more structure. So I think I'm going to put down a couple of these on there. we'll see how that goes. So then the next step I do is I want to get however many patches I need to make. I want to get them all set up to fit in my hoop in my digitizing software. Let me show you what I do. First, I'm going to put a shape on here, and I'm going to make it the size of the inside of my hoop. I did 12 by 7 just so that it fits, and then I'm going to take the patch that I'm doing and fit as many as I can in here and just space them out. So the other thing I like to do for this is move around the order that things stitch so that it does all the placement stitches first and then the tack down stitch next. And then I don't really care after that, but I really try to get it so that it does all of the placement stitches first and then all of the tack down stitches. So I don't have to keep checking. I can kind of just get that over with and then I can let them run. So now I'm going to do that and change the order of everything so that that's the way it goes. Okay, so we're going to do the placement stitch and then I'll put down the applique, but I'm going to start with the placement stitch. I already traced it out.